The Ngige paradox is a very fair and apt name because it involved Peter Obi in Anambra State. So I think it makes it more powerful than the Osumbo paradox, which I'm currently investigating. And when I'll be able to draw those similarities, I'll break them down for you. So let's just, please, I'll be urging you. Maybe you go and call your friends that have left the space to come and listen to this again, so that we really get all of this together. So let's start here with the man called Chris Ngige. All right. Now, apparently, you can Google this everywhere. Chris Ngige was abducted while he was a governor. The whole theory I'm going to read to you is very important as to why the process by which you answer your excellency must be excellent. If you know anything about a man becomes more intelligent by what he experiences, not necessarily even by what he reads or what he sees. It's what he experiences that makes a man. Peter Obi is a political genius because of what he has experienced. Let me read you something. Now, apparently, Peter Obi, in the beginning, when he was governor of Anambra State, 3 times the mandate that was given to Peter Gregory Obi was stolen by the PDP. And 3 times, Peter Obi recovered that mandate through sheer doggedness, honesty, and downright sincerity. Now, let me give you a history how this happened. The first time, Peter Obi had won the election in Anambra State by a landslide. The state was in chaos in April of 2003. Just in April of 2003, Anambra State had a governor called Governor Chinwoke Mbadinuju. He became governor in 1999. He did 1 term and was such a disaster as a governor. He was known to actually have a killer squad, and people who spoke against him were known to have been killed, even down to the very funny death of the head of the Nigerian Bar Association, and I think his wife. If you remember how terrible Mbadinuju was, then there's no need going into his history. Peter Obi came in as governor in April of 2003. The people of Anambra massively voted for a young man who had started his political campaign with a new party called APGA. APGA at the time was not the PDP. It was not the party in power. So nobody today, Peter Obi start to run election with some brand new party and has won elections. We move. Now, this mandate was stolen and by the PDP and given to Chris Ngige. Peter Obi went to court to retrieve that mandate. Now, while the court case was grinding on painfully and slowly, all kinds of offers were made to Peter Obi to abandon his petition and let Chris Ngige continue as governor of Anambra State. Now, this is crazy because I'll tell you something that happened factually. When the court case was going on, it is on record on Sahara Reporters that out of the blue, President Obasanjo told a shocked nation that the rigger of the election was a man called Chris Uba, and the beneficiary of the rigging was Chris Ngige. Apparently, Obasanjo was forced to make this statement when in his living room, Chris Uba had told Chris Ngige, "You know you did not win the election," and Chris Ngige had replied in front of the president, "Yes, I know I did not win." The tribunal subsequently sacked Ngige, a number of people rejoiced, and Peter Obi was made the governor. Now, despite Ngige's pretenses to being an acting governor, Ngige went to the appeal court and was defeated there again, and Peter Obi was then installed as governor in March of 2006. So let me now take you people. There's a reason I gave you this preamble, to take you people to what happened between 2003 when Ngige stole Peter Obi's mandate and the 3 years Peter Obi was in court fighting for that mandate. This is where we have the theory of the Ngige paradox. What is the Ngige paradox? Ngige had his Peter Obi had his mandate stolen by 3 brothers. They were the Uba brothers. If you think Lagos has only one Jagaban, Anambra had three, and there were three brothers. These brothers got together and put in Chris Ngige as governor of Anambra State. They had no plans for greatness. Let me remind you people, Chris Ngige did not come into Anambra State to work. The plan was to come in, embezzle money and bankrupt the state, them regular trademark. There was confirmed stories where the Uba brothers had told Ngige that Ngige would give them the responsibility of choosing at least 90% of his cabinet. Ngige was also meant to be giving them a certain amount of money from the state coffers for doing nothing just by being his political godfathers. After all, this was quote unquote the money they had spent on the election to get him in. Same thing with the Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC government. If you think that this government had planned to come into power to work, it is a lie. Use Buhari and know the level of impunity they had planned. Use the fact that they did not go for any debates, they did not go and speak to the Nigerian people even once all through the campaign season. The plan was to come and thief money and recoup all they had spent in the election cycle. And that is where we get to the Ngige paradox. Anytime any government in power does not have a strong opposition that literally sets fire to their nyash, that government will not work. I promise you that if Muhammadu Buhari had had a movement on his tail as strong as the obedient movement from day one, he would have blocked Twitter probably earlier, or he would have been a more responsible president a long time ago. But we had left all this opposition. We had left all this opposition to the PDP, who were doing a shoddy job, and all they were planning to do was, we'll kiss ass here, kiss ass there. If we win, you know the rule, they cross carpet to the other side, and the game continues to the detriment of the Nigerian people. So this was where this paradox started from. Chris Ngige was forced to work and work well in Anambra State. He had no option. The young man had taken him to court in an election tribunal as far back as 2003 in a Nigeria that had just come out from military rule barely 3 years ago. The man could not understand what was going on. But obviously, they knew that they had rigged their way into power, and even in any court of law, Chris Ngige could never be established as governor of Anambra State after any sort of tribunal. He knew. So what was the game? To start working. Oh, Chris Ngige tarred roads in Anambra State. Let me remind you people that Chris Ngige's problem with his political godfathers in Anambra State started because he started working with the money that he had promised to be dashing his godfathers. Chris Ngige could not afford to give his godfathers 90% of the state appointments because there was a young man called Peter Obi, former bank MD, billionaire in dollars, respectable human being with the pedigree to be a great governor on his tail. And even worse, like what happened in 2023, that man had legally won the election. Oh, Ngige worked. Ngige was going everywhere. Short man devil. He was everywhere. And as what is happening now, it happened in Anambra State. The influencers at the time started saying, hey, Peter Obi, maybe you should withdraw your petition after all. The process by which Ngige is answering your excellency was not excellent, but he's showing some signs of excellence. Same thing Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing today. This was how Ngige was going. Ngige will go. Ngige did what they call road revolution in Anambra. He was fixing roads, tarring roads. Ngige was doing everything doable to get eligibility on the side of the Anambra people. But let me remind you of something. When the tribunal, after 2.5, 3 years, gave Peter Obi back his mandate, there is one road Peter Obi built in Anambra State that makes every road Ngige built look like coins. It is the 10-lane express that you drive when you land in Anambra State from the bridge in Onitsha. Excellence. Bola Ahmed Tinubu built 3-lane express from Bonny Camp or to VGC Aja and put 2 toll gates there. Peter Obi built 10-lane express in Anambra, free for all. He would have built that express to Enugu State, but the federal government of the PDP did not even allow him build because it was federal road. Let him not take the glory of that road. That road is still functional till today. Go and verify. What Peter Obi achieved for Anambra State people dwarfed Chris Ngige in less than 3 years. We don't remember, when we speak of Anambra now, we don't even call Chris Ngige at all. And also to show you how much of a fraud Chris Ngige was made Minister of Labour and led Nigeria into multi-dimensional poverty and the highest unemployment rate in this country at 65% unemployment rate. The highest ever. The highest ever. If he was that spectacular as he claimed as a governor, Peter Obi has been spectacular in every other position he has held since he left governance. Chris Ngige was made common minister of labor. And between him and Lastus Keyamo, they plunged the Nigerian people into more unemployment. Oh, Chris Ngige went to all the markets in Anambra then. He was known to all the traders. He was dashing money left and right. He met all the royal fathers in Anambra, sat down. He has pictures with them. Chris Ngige has, look, in that 2 or 3 years Chris Ngige was governor, he did more than. But when Peter Obi entered, we now understood that excellence, there's a difference. Peter Obi dwarfed every single thing. So if we had agreed, if Peter Obi had even agreed that, okay, cool, maybe Ngige built a road here, a road there, a market here, a market there, and is good friends with a royal father here and shook the hands of some students there, maybe he should continue. We would not have had a 10-lane express in Anambra State that has lasted from 2006 till date. The Ngige paradox is what is haunting Bola Ahmed Tinubu today. There is a reason why when Bola Ahmed Tinubu started running for president, out of all the politicians in this country, Ngige, Dr. Chris Ngige, the current Minister of Labour, or just former Minister of Labour, said, I am not supporting any candidate and did not put out his support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, despite the fact that he's in the APC. Go and verify. Ngige refused. Why am I saying this? Let me give you a quick rundown of what Bola Ahmed Tinubu has achieved in the last 1 week. For the idiots that come out and tell you, hey, man, he's walking. He's walking. Let me start here. In the last 1 week, Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy in the worst way possible, in the most retarded and dumbest way possible. In the last 1 week, we almost ended in national chaos, but they have gone to fragment the Nigerian Labour Congress, which had planned to
remain law-abiding and be always say things and stand for what is right. It is important for us. If we all do it together, we will achieve. I know how dampened you are that this your effort did not come out the way you have wished. But remember, we are in a long distance race. We are fighting a battle with entrenched establishment. It is not going to be easy. You're going to, even me, in the coming months, I'm going to be facing all of problems, allegations, blackmail, everything, no problem. Don't worry about it. Like I keep telling people, people will say, oh, you're going to be detained, you're going to be do this. Whatever happens, I'll take it. All I can tell you is that I'll remain law abiding, I'll follow the rules, I'll do the right things. I will not in any way bring my country or you or anything to ridicule or do what is wrong in the country. We must do the right things. We must speak truth to power, whether they like it or not. We must do the right things because this is the only country we have, and we must make it better for our children and for the next generation and pull people out of poverty. We must remove it from consumption to production and make it one of the great countries of the world. So I thank you people for all your sacrifice. Do not in any way feel dampened. Feel great because you've been part of this greatness. Thank you and God bless you.